The interior trim is going back in, no trouble at all. My meticulous storing of the nuts and bolts has certainly paid off, but it is still a sea of black plastic in here. Mike promised me he'd drop into an MX5 specialist to see if there's anything he can do to lift the tone a little. So time to catch up with our budget-blowing hero.
Oh, Val, this is fantastic. You've got everything in here. So where do we start?
Chrome on the interior. What you want, just some little bits to lift the interior. Set of vent rings, door handle rings, side demisters, and a nice little bit for the middle. Next, gear knob, handbrake sleeve. Genuine Mazda, exactly what's fitted to the current model. Great.
Anything else?
Door sills.
Yeah.
Where you open the door, nice sill plate.
Oh, like that. I mean, that's the type of thing you find on a Bentley, isn't it? What are these bits here?
Right, front grille, very important. The front of the car, that's where the radiator is. All you've got at the moment, dirty great hole.
Yeah.
So a front grille, absolutely vital. Stop the stones going in.
Do you know what? Even I could fit that. That looks a doddle.
Yep.
Yes, fantastic. Dear, expensive?
No, £59.
Have one. Yep, done.
That's a roof.
That's a roof?
That's a roof
Is
there.
it really?
Yeah. And that'll take you 4 hours to fit.
No way.
Yeah.
No, it won't take me 4 hours to fit. I'll be having a cup of tea. It'll take Ed 4 hours to fit.
Well, lucky you.
I couldn't resist it. I bought some other little bits. A performance air filter, some strut bases to stiffen up the suspension. The vinyl roof is already in the car, and I've spent only £600, and I'm not worried about that because that's money I'm guaranteed to get back because I know it's going to transform our dowdy little ragtop into a very cool convertible. Right, time to get to Ed's and give him the stuff. Ed.
Hello, sir.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you
Good
all
to
right?
see you. Yeah, not bad at all.
Good.
I see you've been working quite hard.
Yeah, this looks nice. What's this?
This is your new roof, Ed.
OK, it looks like a lot of work then.
It's not a lot of work. It's just a stitch-on hood. It's going to be easy. You'll do it. It's a doddle. While I was in this place getting a hood, I got so excited. They got rows and rows of all nice little trinkety bits that you can put on the MX5. Look at them.
Oh, that's cool. No, I get
Kick
that.
plates for the door. How nice are they? And look at this. It's the bling grille.
It is the bling grille.
It is. And apparently it only takes a couple of minutes to fit it.
OK.
So a really easy job. And I've got loads of other little bits for you. But what have you been up to?
Well, as you can see, I've already taken the roof off.
Yep.
In preparation for this bit, but just smell here. Fresh as a daisy.
It is, actually. Nice smelling. It was musky before,
It was horrible.
wasn't
It's because all the water in there, and there was lots of mould and things. I just managed to get hold of some new seats and new carpet from a breaker's yard, well, second hand, but, you know, it's good as new.
Oh, fantastic.
It's
They
made a
look
lot
like
of
the old
difference.
ones.
Well, they are exactly the same stuff. It's just much better condition.
Well done.
So it's
Well
kinda cool.
done.
And the majority of work has been on this A-pillar here. Remember that little bit of rust you had?
Yeah, there was a tiny little mark there.
Actually, it was a huge hole. I had to take off the wing, the bonnet and the windscreen to get at it, and I had to cut out a big chunk of metal there and then sort of reform a new piece of metal, put it in, fill up, paint the work.
Oh, I'm really sorry, Ed. Really sorry. But it looks fantastic. What a job.
Well, thank
It
you.
looks like you put in a brand new A-pillar.
Well, I might have swallowed that, actually. It would have been a lot easier, I think.
So far, we spent £1,600 on the car, £465 on chrome trim and a new hood, £150 on the windscreen, £135 on tuning bits, and £155 on that salvage interior. Total £2,505, well within our budget. Our little MX5 is nearly ready for its summer blast along the roads, and I can't wait. However, there's still those few jobs to do, including fitting the roof, finishing off the interior with the nice little trim bits that I got, and also putting on some performance modifications to tighten up the handling. So, join us next time on Wheeler Dealers to see if Ed can get the car finished, and more importantly, if I can get it sold for a profit.
This performance air filter makes the car drive better by increasing the airflow to the engine. As a stock system, what normally happens, the air is cleaned by going through this hole here, down this tube, into the bottom of the airbox, through a paper element filter, and then back into the airflow meter. But what this does is make all that redundant. So what we do is get rid of all of those bits and just bolt this into place. So my first part of the job is to take all these bits out.
It looks scary removing this large plastic unit from the engine bay, but apart from a few bolts, one electrical lead and a hose, it's an easy job that should give you a couple more horsepower and a rortier exhaust note.
This is the component I've just taken from the car. I've also got the air intake pipe, just so you can see how cumbersome this air cleaning assembly really is when it's on the car. Right, now, the air goes in through this tube, all the way down here, and into the airbox, and then it goes through the filter, which I can now show you. It's a paper element filter, and you can see that it's dirty on one side and clean on the other, and that's of course how it's working. So all the dirty air from the road, sand and grit and stuff, all the dirt gets stuck on this side, the air flows through nice and clean and of course goes straight to the engine. So essentially these two things do the same job, which is why I'm going to junk all this plastic stuff, and in fact the only bit I'm going to keep is the airflow meter here. Bolt these two together, and then that way of course there can be loads more air is going to get into here and therefore into the engine.
Putting the new unit together isn't rocket science, and you don't need fancy tools. The main filter just bolts to the airflow meter with a cork gasket in between.
Well, there we have it. So all this stuff is for the bin, and this is for the car.
The new filter needs protection from engine heat, so a metal shield is included in the kit. It looks good and bolts straight onto the old mounts. Another nice quick job.
Now, because the airbox is no longer with us, the airflow meter needs to be supported by something, and handily in the kit there are some little brackets here which I'm now affixing to the car.
This is the only tricky bit, getting the old hose back on. My little tip is to use washing up liquid as a lubricant. And there she goes.
In the kit comes some special oil. It sounds a bit of a strange thing to do, but what it means is by putting a surface of oil over all this foam, any sort of grit and dirt actually sticks even better to the filter, which means even cleaner air goes into the engine.
One new air filter and definite performance benefits for any potential buyer.
Well, now our performance air filter is fitted to the car, let's see what the engine sounds like. Well, that does sound a lot better, actually. A bit more racy, a bit more throaty. But I think the real benefit of that air filter is going to be felt on the open road. And talking of which, I'd better get on with fitting those suspension parts that Mike got me. These are aftermarket suspension struts. And I've got one for the front, which goes in here. One for the back, which goes back there somewhere. It's actually quite simple. In the chassis here, there's a kind of a U shape, a gap, where the gearbox has to go. And what this does is it's like a metal bar that just bolts in and kind of holds all that together, ties it together. And that way, when you're driving along and the suspension's moving around, you don't sort of feel the wallowiness of the chassis flexing. It just keeps everything really, really taut. And the cool thing is that there's actually mounting holes already in the car for these parts. It's great.
All you need is a socket set and some lubricating fluid if the screws don't go in first time. But I'm having no problems at all.
Apparently, you can do this while the car's on the ground. I am so happy that I got my ramp because it makes it so much easier. Well, that's looking pretty secure, so on with the back one.
Fitting the back brace is exactly the same procedure and is a doddle. It's great that such a straightforward job will immediately improve our MX-5's handling.
Coming up in part 2, the Mazda nears completion as Ed fits a new roof, some new boots and finishes off the interior. Then I go looking for a buyer. Stay with us.